Hello and welcome, beautiful bright souls. Hello and welcome to Ascension Love with Alice, a return to union. It's such a joyous honour to be here with you as we bring forth this angelic, this incredible insights for the energies that are commencing the week of Monday the 3rd of, oh crikey, we're in May. That goes quick, hey? So Monday the 3rd of May all the way through to Sunday the 9th. So without further ado, I am going to get straight into it. We're going to call in all angels, guides, ascended beings of love and light, anything and anyone that has transcended polarity that is here to assist us for the highest good of all in beautiful unity consciousness, unconditional love and divine light. Let's have a look. Let's see which archangels are supporting us for this week as we go into this now. Who have we got? We've got Archangel Pleiadians. I nearly said that wrong. Let's try that again. Archangel Pleiadians. Sometimes they're a bit hard to get the words out, hey? Anyway, this incredible archangel is all about being conscientious of everything and everyone, knowing that we're all connected, that everything is, it's all about cooperation, about teamwork, about interacting with all the kingdoms that are here within Earth, the plant kingdom, animal kingdom, all the elementals, the ocean life, everything is all one. We are all part of this intrinsic model, right? It's not just about our life, your own individual life. This is actually about everything and everyone, every creature, every living thing, or everything in general, right? Regardless of whether we perceive it to be living or not, has an energy, right? And everything is part of this grander picture, this bigger picture. And this beautiful archangel reminds us of that. We have Archangel Amethyst, who has actually been coming out quite a bit recently. She's been showing up in a lot of client one-to-ones that I've been doing as well, which is a wonderfully consistent theme, right? So Archangel Amethyst is all about purifying with love, right? It's about going into your heart space, preparing for something better. But to do that, we have to clear, we have to clear the energy. I'm just going to see if I can refocus this camera here. Sorry, it's quite bright. I don't know if that helped or not. Never mind. We tried. Let's see who else is here. But yeah, to bring in higher frequency, more joyous experiences, we have to bring in more love, right? So that means, that's not just about enjoying the time when you are in that high vibration. I mean, it is, of course, do that. But it's also about, when you're not in that high vibration, how can you bring love to that situation? How can you put yourself in the other person's shoes who may not be responding in love to you, and how can you, instead of reacting, respond differently, right? Because what that does is it balances karma quite immediately, so we have Archangel Charity. I'm going to laugh if Archangel Hope comes out as well, because literally these two and Archangel Hope have been coming out for many people recently. But Archangel Charity, she's all about the heart space. She's all about that giving, that loving, being generous, but being generous from a place of love, not from expecting something, because oftentimes we might give something with the expectation that we're going to receive something back, right? And it might not be a vocalized expectation, but it's there, right? So we've got to kind of catch ourselves and just check, why are we doing something? Are we doing something for the acknowledgement of it? Are we doing something for because we want to get someone's attention with something? Or are we doing it just because of the joy of doing it? Are we, for example, are you gifting someone just for the joy of gifting someone? Do they have to know it's from you? Do you have to get that validation and recognition at the end, right? Or is the joy the actual act of what it is that you've offered? That's just an example, but Archangel Charity is very much about reminding us that in order to receive more in general, if we are wanting to expand our lives, it comes from the heart space, right? Every time we act in love, when we move from the mind space, move into our heart and offer something, whatever that is, whether that is loving words, a kind smile, loving energy, blessings, or whether it's something a little bit more physical, whenever we offer that from that space in our heart, from gratitude and appreciation, oh my gosh, you just watch what comes back to you from the divine. And we don't control how that comes back, right? We just sit back and we just know that the divine has got us. And then we have Archangel Jeremiah here, who is all about learning from challenges, relaxing, trusting, just, really trusting the process. That can be quite difficult for many people, especially right now, because there's a lot of unknowns. Things are constantly changing. We hear so many things. from other people, left, right, and center. You know, this is going on, that's going on with this agenda, that agenda, la 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 la. At the end of the day, it doesn't actually matter, because it's all in a bigger picture. It's all something part of a bigger picture, and until we get to that level of understanding, it can be difficult to discern, right? It can be difficult to discern, but your heart space will always allow you, it will always help you find what you need. You know, we don't need to continue to call on external sources here. These archangels are present within everyone's hearts. You know, all the guidance that we need is present within our own heart space. And Archangel Jeremiah here is coming in to remind us that, you know, when we relax, when we spend more time bringing our awareness, when possible, into that heart space, you know, we can really trust that everything is flowing just as it's meant to. And even if we can't see it at this point in time, there is something coming through. And look at that guardian angel is on the bottom of the deck of cards here. Let me just pop these over here, I think. Let me just move you guys up. Isn't this crystal gorgeous? I don't know if you can see it on the camera. It's K2. Have you ever heard of that? It's I think it's azurite in granite, and I'm simply in love with that. But anyway, I'm going to pop Guardian Angel right here, because Guardian Angel is our angel that literally is with us all day, every day, looking out for us, loving on us. I'm just going to actually move that beautiful block of rose quartz back a wee bit so I can get those in a line. There we go. But your guardian angel is literally, you know, they've been with you from birth, right? You know, they are with you throughout all that you go through, and they are holding the space for you this week. They are reminding you how loved you are. It's kind of like that phrase, you know, if you could see yourself through my eyes, you wouldn't doubt a thing. You just, you know, it'd just be so beautiful, because your guardian angel, regardless of what you do and how you think or feel about yourself, or how you think or feel or act toward others, they literally just love you because they only see your light. Now, that is such a powerful phrase. That's such a powerful thing to connect to, is, you know, the light in someone is all you see. If we walked around and focused only on seeing the light within every person, and we have blinkers on, which are like our sunglasses or shades that completely like blocked out you know, anything that wasn't done in love, you know, imagine how the law of attraction could really take effect then, right? You know, look at the energy and where that energy would go. It'd go towards love, and that would magnify just exponentially. So we've got some really wonderful themes coming in here. You know, this seems to be a week about love, about creating space, about being conscientious, and connecting with everything and everyone, connecting with the life and the light within every single one. And as we do that, you know, we are able to forgive, we are able to release. Forgiveness isn't about another person, you guys. Forgiveness is about yourself and what you're holding into yourself. And look, this waterfall next to Archangel Jeremiah, you know, it's the bridge between heaven and earth. That it really is. And as that flows, you know, as that flows, it washes away anything that's been blocking you from anything. So if you think that you've got a block in abundance, if you think you've got a block in joy, if you think you've got a block in whatever, you know, this is the answer, right? It's kind of, how can we focus on seeing only light within everything that we come across? So I'm going to just pull some cards on the challenges that we're going to face here. What are we going to struggle with this week? What do we need to be aware of, you guys? Thank you. Home. Okay, so the home space. Either people are going to be, you know, either you're going to go through something that's going to kind of anchor you at home a little bit. You know, maybe that's something to do with transport or how you get around, or you know, maybe that's kind of, you know, the environment within your home. Maybe that's going to be challenging this week, and maybe we you know, maybe we have to be conscientious of other people, right? And although that can be difficult, we're also getting to get outside, right? That's why Archangel Permaniliac is here. Because we have to get outside to connect, right, with ourselves. We forget that because we are made up of this earth. To connect, we actually have to get outside. And tenderness, yes, gentle yet powerful, you know. That tenderness there is, it's such a strength and a gift, and people can often misconstrue that gentleness with passiveness, or with kind of being a pushover, and it's not. You know, tenderness, vulnerability, gentleness, they are all incredibly wonderful divine feminine strengths, but we have so much wounding in that area. We've been conditioned to be strong and to be tough and don't show emotion and don't talk about things, but actually it's the opposite. You know, that stigma was created in fear, right? So we might be a little bit triggered by other people trying to communicate, but if you've not learned how, right? If you've gone through this lifetime never having been communicated to in a healthy way, right? You know, it's not something that people learn overnight, right? So if someone is trying to communicate with you and they're not using words that actually feel too good, take a moment to breathe first. Take a moment to see if you can try to imagine within your heart, try to find space in your heart to surround them in love and to understand or to have compassion. And compassion is not empathy, right? Compassion is whole, right? Understanding but not taking on their energy, right? Empathy, you kind of take on the other person's energy, and you can't help anyone if you're down there as well. You want to stay up with your highlights. But you know, if someone's trying to communicate and they don't necessarily know how, they've not learned that, you know, they're not going to learn overnight, right? It's not going to be like that. But we have to, like, in order to start to repair any bonds of love that have been ruptured and fractured, it requires a little bit more patience, right? It requires us acknowledging that words coming towards us may be triggering, but at the same time acknowledging that trigger within you, that the egoic response, the inner child response, acknowledging that you're feeling that within yourself, not verbally to another person, but just kind of go, okay, I hear you, inner child, I hear you, ego. It's okay. It's okay, you know. They might be operating from fear and wounding as well, but to heal, we've got to do something different, right? Yeah, and look at that. Truth and trust. Exactly. This is going to be a difficult one because there's going to be a lot of truths coming out this week. That's going to really rupture trust, right? And that's going to be reflective in all aspects of the 3D, in all aspects of the earth plane, right? So this is going to be in relation to home. This is going to be in relation to outside of your home. This is going to be in relation to authority figures. There's going to be more truths coming out, which are going to be broader knowledge, right? It's going to be, it's kind of like the truths that people are aware of, who probably, if you're watching this video, you're probably aware of a lot of truths that others maybe aren't. And it's not our job to enlighten and illuminate those people, right? It's our job to stay high in our light, and to hold space. But what I'm getting drawn to is this image here, you know, this trust, is how she's got her cloak wrapped around and people kind of like being shielded from whatever, but it's like the veil is going to get lifted back, right? And then it's going to be like this equal footing now. There's only two people in there face to face, right? So it's no longer a hierarchical type of bigger, smaller thing. That's going to start to release this week, and it might not be seen broad scale, but it will be seen noticeably this week, right? It will be seen noticeably this week. So let's have a look at who we're going to put on the bottom of the deck here. Sobriety. Yeah, it's going to be sobering. Yep, that's a good word. It's going to be sobering for a lot of people. But what's going to be really, really incredible is that it's actually going to, this is why we need to create the space. This is why we need to stay in our heart space. This is why we need to connect with the simpler things in life, right? Humans convolute things so much, right? We convolute things as humans. So that's why connecting with the insect kingdom, the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, you know, the sea life kingdom, why connecting with that energy is such bliss and joy, and it reminds us of the simplicity of life and how it's meant to be, because it could very well be a very sobering week. You know, so we need to kind of stay within that heart space. Look, we've got feminine energies coming right in here in the middle, so it's like having that feminine energy right in the middle of it here, and benefit of the doubt, right? You know, how quickly can we move back into compassion, benefit of the doubt, and you know, solution orientated feelings, right, versus anything else. Yeah, so let's have a look at what our guidance is. Which cards should we use here? I'm going to go to this. Okay. So I'm going to ask for some guidance to help, to offer everyone on this video as to how to move through this week. What do we need to do? What would be best use of our energy this week? Let's ask that. What would be best use of our energy this week to get the highest possible week? Okay, we got red, blue, and white. The red, white, and the blue. Isn't that funny that both the UK and the States, their flag is red, white, and blue? Isn't that interesting? So there could very well be something coming through to do with both of those countries this week, right? But anyway, yeah, we've got lessons on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so for guidance, this week is going to be about lessons. It's going to be a big unfolding, it feels, and that's a good thing, right? Now we're getting 3 colours. I'm just moving how I'm sat here. Now in getting 3 colours, this is advice, right? This is what the guides want us to know. So we've got the red, which in these cards are indicative of these are indicative of the chakras, right? So the root chakra, the throat chakra, and the crown chakra. Right, so the root is all about that survival, the basic instincts, the materialism. It can also be about, passion and things like that, but I'm not reading it in that way. I mean, maybe you are watching this, maybe that's got another meaning for you as well, to do with your dynamic, your relationship and romance and things like that, but I'm not reading it that way. I'm reading it, I'm being very drawn to, I'm actually being very drawn to this kind of crescent moon here. It looks like a little person with their arms up going, yay, at the top of both of these. And, and look, that image there is right at the top of these 2 cards, but right in the center on the top of the Ankara here, which is back in the center of the heart. So I'm loving this. So we've got the red card here, which is, like I say, about that root chakra. We may be what do you need to do to move your life forward? What action do you need to take? What action do you need to take to progress your life in a really balanced way? And I'm receiving that word balanced really specifically, and especially here, like, although obviously archangels, they're non-binary, right? They are both male and female, but they often get depicted more as female or male. And here we've got 2 males and 2 females. That's balance, right? And that's what the root chakra is all about. There's only 2 chambers in that root chakra. That's the divine masculine and the divine feminine, right? The focus this week is on making sure that you've got balance there. So, you've got to have that equal receiving in the root along to match the action that you're taking, and vice versa. And that doesn't match in accordance with time. This is very much about how do we release the fears of survival, because that might be triggered this week, right? So how do we, with this honesty and truth and sobering energy coming in, how do we release the bindings of a fear-based survival and move into that thriving energy where you know that you create and that you know that you are always being catered for and served? And that's what Pleiadians is really great at as well, because, for example, if we look at ants are a 5th dimensional species. They're already there in the 5D, and they work harmoniously together. They work with sacred geometry. They bring through key codes and sacred geometry into the earth. That's what they do, right? And they aerate the soil and etc. etc. They already work in that space and time, right? So it's fascinating, because when we get an archangel like this coming in and being asked to spend more time with those incredible beings, it helps us understand, because if we look at anything like spider or ant or butterfly, they literally have all they need within themselves. And that's like we have what we need within ourselves. We don't need to rely on an external force to glean that from, it's already within us, right? And we can draw that to us. But part of doing that, and this is what the big lesson here is, I think this week, part of that big lesson is very much about, creating it, creating from this root space, bringing it up, right? Or bringing it down from the higher to anchor it in. But it's funny that these have come in the opposite order, right? They've come in from the root up. And this is what this is about. It's about building those foundations from the roots up, and that's what the guidance is. And then we get to the blue card, right? It's all about that high communication, Archangel Michael energy, and Oh yeah, I've just noticed as well, look, there's a little one of those things in the middle of here as well. So, and I know it's not meant to be a person or anything like that, but that's what it's reminding me of. But it's, these two cards remind me of the separation that is there right now. You know, there's the in and the out, as within, so without, except there is that kind of separation. And this is what we're able to bring together into union a lot more this week, should we wish to, right? It's going to be, you know, bringing the outer world to match the inner world and the inner world to match the outer world. There is no separation between that, right? Our outer world is a mirror of our state of being, right? You know, there are some people going around the world having an awful time right now. And there are some people that haven't even noticed it. They literally don't live in that world because they are so balanced, right? They are so balanced and anchored in light that they do not receive what other people receive as reality, because they've healed on so many of that. So when we look at this blue card here, this is about higher communication. This is about inner truth. This is about, are you in alignment with your inner truth? Does your root chakra match your throat chakra, right? Do they match, right? Are you walking your talk? Are you talking your walk, walking your talk? That's, oh yeah. This is going to be a big one here for this week. You know, and this is all about integrity, right? And this is all about, you know, if you have been kind of passively going along with the flow of what the rest of the world is doing, and it doesn't align with you, which it doesn't for anyone. I'm just going to say it doesn't for anyone, because your higher self is creating contrast, right? We've created this contrast that we're experiencing so that we can get really clear on what we want. And this is the time that this is going to come through to us, right? This is the time that this is going to come through to us, is that, okay, are we going to align, you know? Are we going to align with what our soul, our higher self, our aspect of us that is God, is wanting us to feel safe and comfortable to do? And it is going to trigger the root chakra. It's going to trigger that survival. It is maybe going to trigger tears, and that's okay. Let it flow. We've got to get this balance. And this is the lesson. This is the grand lesson right now, is releasing your expectation and judgment on self so that you can recreate what it is that actually is in alignment here, and, you know, communicate that going forward in a really healthy way. There is a difference between having an overactive throat chakra and being able to, and having a balanced one that communicates healthily. I'm just going to say that again, okay, in a different way. Because some people think that when they discover something that is not in alignment, that them speaking about it to everyone, at everyone, not with people, but at them, and getting in an angry and frustrated way, is having a clear and balanced throat chakra. It is not, it's still imbalanced, right? The difference between a balanced throat chakra that is operating in its highest way possible is higher communication. Balanced and healthy communication is what you are saying. Is it inspiring, uplifting, and empowering and healing? Is it that, or is it not? Is what you're saying healing? Right? And that's not to say, once again, that's not to say saying what you think someone needs to hear. It's saying the truth, but saying it in such a way that your vernacular is imbued with angelic words, essentially with God, with divinity, with light, with love. And you can't just put at the end of a sentence, saying this with love. No. Are you actually, is it coming from your heart or is it coming from your head? That's how we know. And this is a really important lesson for this week. Oh, it's a huge lesson for this week, because this is what is creating your imbalance. This is what's validating your imbalance as well. There's a lot of overactive throat chakras right now. A lot. So this is just a moment where, you know, pause the video if you're watching this. Is your throat chakra, has it been overactive? And has it been overactive in a way that's not been from your heart, right? Has your words always been healing, uplifting, inspiring, and empowering? And if you can't respond in that way, then wait until you can. Wait until you have the space to do that. And then the final bit of guidance we have is this white, this beautiful white, this purity, this divinity. This white is every single color. It's every single frequency. It is the ultimate I am, you know. This is source. This is enlightenment. And look, there is no separate little symbol that to me looked like a little person waving their arms. It's right there in the middle of that rose, in the middle of that heart. Enlightenment. This symbol here, the Omkara, This literally is creation. This symbol is what the world is built off. That's the sound that this world, our existence, is built off, right? So move it back to the heart. Yeah, what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful message. And I'm just going to see if, let's just pull one little quote. I like these little quotation cards. So I'm just going to pull one quotation card and see which one we want to end up. Oh, look at that one with roses on. Let's go for that. Express your love through deeds. Exactly, exactly, exactly. Once again, Archangel Charity, right? I think this card's come up before. Express your love through deeds, right? That can be energetic, you know, in your mind, sending blessings, love, abundance, happy thoughts to people, right? Without any expectation of them receiving them, without any expectation of them acknowledging it or validating it or coming back to you and saying X, Y, and Z, you know, and same for anything, whether you're gifting someone something, whether you're offering someone something, whether you are saying something to something, we do it from love, and that love is eternal, and the love that fills you up comes from the divine. So you never have to worry about whether anyone else is going to give something back to you in exchange, because it's already within you. It's come from the divine. Your love that you are expressing comes from the divine. What a beautiful message to finish this off with. So on that note, you guys, I'm going to send you all so much love. Have the most beautiful, beautiful week ahead. It really set out to be an incredibly insightful one. If you would like some assistance with focusing your energy, right, and really getting clear on your direction, on your soul path, on anything like that, reach out for a one-to-one angelic guidance session, right? We have half-an-hour sessions and an hour sessions, and I've got a couple of slots next week, and then the week after is a little bit more open. I also have one slot available for a 4-week coaching program, which is anchoring your light, right? This is specifically for your soul path. This is specifically for the person who is ready to completely leave behind the contrast, leave behind the BS, and really get aligned in love, in light, in sovereignty, and to empower and to impact, right? So it's I have one slot left for that, and that is open until next week. So message me if that calls to you, and we can chat a little bit about it and see if it's for you. But in the meantime, I want to send you so much love. So many blessings. Do find me on Facebook, do find me on Instagram, Ascension's Love with Alice, and do join our Dream Temple on Facebook. It's a beautiful space, and I'm going to be going live at some point today. So if you're watching this today, you might catch me live as well doing card pulls. And in the meantime, so much love, blessings. Bye for now, beautiful souls.